Hi, I'm Karl Konrad and I've got some breaking news for you today. The Australian Immigration Department released new laws giving much needed concessions to certain visa holders and even former visa holders who have been impacted due to the Covid-19 pandemic. These include those who are offshore and unable to return to Australia and those in Australia but have lost their jobs. At long last, we are so relieved of this news and we've been getting so many questions from our clients and from you guys as well. This will come as a relief to those who wish to apply for the following subclasses: the 887, the 485, the 790, the 188 and the 888. To help identify those who are specifically impacted by the pandemic, the government has defined a concession period that starts from the 1st of February this year, and the date it concludes is yet to be determined. And that's because we're not out of the woods yet in relation to the COVID pandemic. The 887 visa is a permanent one that applies after meeting the requirements while holding the 489 visa. Amendments to the immigration regulations have been made to allow the flexibility in meeting the 887 requirements and will allow 489 visa holders and some former 489 visa holders who are covered under the concession period to apply for and be granted an 887 visa whilst outside of Australia. Typically, 489 visa holders would be required to reside and work in specific regional areas for a period of time before being eligible for the permanent 887. They would also need to be in Australia for the grant of the 887. Concessions are also provided to help with the requirement to live for 2 years in a specified regional area, and the work requirement will be reduced from 12 months to 9 months or possibly even a shorter period. Those whose 489 visas expired during the concession period may be eligible for some of these concessions. The department has stated reasonable limits have been placed on concessions in order to strike a balance between providing flexibility and maintaining program integrity. These concessions take into account the difficulties faced by Australia's temporary residents affected by travel restrictions and unemployment. Those wanting to apply for the 485 visa but are offshore are also handed a lifeline. You will be able to apply and be granted the 485 visa whilst offshore. You do not need to meet the usual requirement of having to hold a student visa within 6 months before your 485 application. While you previously needed to complete the Australian study requirement within 6 months prior to the 485 application, those affected by COVID need only to complete their Australian study requirement within 12 months before applying for the 485, which remember you can now do whilst overseas. I won't be covering the 188, 888 and 790 visas in the interest of getting this news out to you as soon as our team can. Now, many of these concessions relate to completing a period of time of residence, work or study and/or in the application itself. The concessions do not make you immediately eligible for visas. If you need help figuring out if you're covered by these amendments and if they can actually help you, reach out to us. Now visit the description for our publication on these changes and don't forget to show us your support by subscribing and following us on Facebook and Instagram. So thanks for watching tonight. As usual, take care out there and bye for now.